Yeah, you have to.
Very.
You have to talk, or we have to like force it to look at you when you show off screenshots.
Right. So I'll probably. Well, let's
Just
put it back.
describe it.
Stop sharing. Now it's back to me.
All right,
Yes.
guys. Let us know when you can see us and when you can hear us and when you can see Abo randomly drink water. And I'm drinking too.
All right.
All right. You can see and hear. All right. Let's go, guys. Well, up to you.
Yep.
Alrighty. So top of the notes.
Yes, sir.
On this episode of the AIE Podcast,
Nerdtacular starts in 5 days.
And we're kind of excited and overwhelmed and freaking out, but that just might be me.
and to distract us, we have game updates.
Including Captain Sybil's STO write-up.
Plus, Abavan and Mew are here to talk to us about Final Fantasy XIV.
All that and more coming up right now.
Wow!
Welcome to episode 277 of the podcast celebrating the Alea Ayakta-esque gaming community, the Die Has Been podcast. This is Mew Cow. Greetings, gamers. And to my left is Tetsemi.
1 second, I'm updating my Nerdtacular prep spreadsheet.
And to my right is Michaela.
I'm busy making chicken thingies for the upcoming road trip. There'll be some in the guild kitchen.
And this week we are joined by special guest Abavan, who is here to talk to us about AIE and Final Fantasy XIV. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
That was short and brief. That was strange.
We got a big show. Let's get to it.
Yeah.
Big shoe, big shoe.
All right. Do we want to go on around and talk about real life, or do we have other things you want to dig into?
I think we're going to get into, let's see. I think what we'll do is cover that in our Nerdtacular section as well. We can do both our Nerdtacular thoughts and what we've been doing.
Alrighty, sounds good to me. So we'll be digging into the Final Fantasy XIV news shortly, but first let's talk about what's going on and coming this weekend and some other related items.
All right.
So first we'll start with Tets.
Take it away,
Cool.
sir.
All right. Well, just a brief WoW update since we want to get through this and talk about Final Fantasy XIV. I think I said last time, but I got my rogue to 110. If not, hey, I got my rogue to 110. And she's about halfway through the class story. I've got 5 followers. I've only done the one combat rogue weapon. I haven't done the other 2, mainly because I still need to finish 2 leveling zones. With heirlooms, guess what, folks? You can hit 110 with just 2 leveling zones and then realize that you still have to do the other 2 to unlock your class hall story. So, yeah, I'm going to go finish that up. And meanwhile, since we're at Artifact Knowledge 40, I've got Concordance on all my other 110s, the Mage, DK, Paladin, and Druid, and I'm working on their off-spec stuff. So just kind of plodding along. Also, Tomb opened this week. I won't steal Mew's thunder, but we did get the first boss down.
Mm-hmm.
And we're making Mew tank the second boss because we need 3 tanks, 4 healers, and a partridge and a pear tree apparently for that one. So
Just about.
yeah, we'll have more update in Nerdtacular because we're gonna tackle that again tonight.
Yep.
All right. So let's talk Nerdtacular real quick. It is one of my favorite get-togethers for AIE and the greater Frog Pants community. There is a ton to do. So how do you figure out what you want to do and not be overwhelmed? Well, I'm going to pick 2 things, and I think everyone else is going to probably pick a couple things as well. Snowbird is a ski resort. In the summer, it is a summer resort, so there is a ton of stuff to do. What I would recommend is, at very least, if you're not afraid of heights, take the tram to the top of the mountain. Don't worry, it'll bring you back down if you're, don't feel like hiking down or max running down.
Because he's crazy.
Yep.
Does he actually run down the mountain, or do he just runs around? I never know with him.
Max runs everywhere. I mean,
I know
he
just
runs
runs
to the
everywhere.
bathroom, he runs through the hallways.
I'm pretty sure he's doing circles in the tram as it's going up.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
He doesn't stop running. That's
Exactly.
Max in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good guy. Though.
There is a nice path that you can walk down from the top of the mountain to where the ski lift chairs are, and it's all downhill literally, so there's no worry. So if you can make that trek down, then you can ride the ski lift chairs down to the bottom of the mountain, or if you if they're running, or if you're really adventurous, you can hike all the way down too,
or you can even bike.
Or bike. Yeah.
Now, Corley said that they hiked down last year, or 2015. It took about 2 hours.
Yeah.
I really would like to do that this year if time permitting.
Yeah. You just have to remember to bring your good shoes.
Yes, sir.
Well, as speaking for the people who are out of shape, like myself, taking the tram up and walking around up there and seeing the sights down there, taking some pictures up there is very cool. And then you take the tram down, which is also just the ride up and down is very cool as well.
Yeah.
So if you are wildly out of shape like myself, I still recommend going up.
Right.
There's still tons of other things to do too, to help with the unhealthiness. That is your lifestyle.
Exactly. Oh, and Corley, good reminder from Corley. You are at altitude. You are significantly at altitude, and Colorado is very dry. So bring lots of water. Utah is. Force of habit. Do the same thing when we go to Colorado. It's like drink lots of water. Yes. It's dry. I mean, I'm coming from Arizona, and it's dry. So
no, you want and I'll talk more about it in my section. But you want to bring a block with water with you.
Exactly. The other thing, if you like roller coasters, there is a mini mountain coaster that takes you back in the forest and does some nice twists and turns and drops. It's perfect for the kids. If you're going to do that more than once, I'd highly recommend go get the wristband. They sell basically day passes, and it's a wristband, and you can go on.
Is it 15 or 20? It's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, it's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how much it is.
Yeah.
But the roller coaster is cool for non-roller coaster people because you get your own break.
You do. So you can go as fast or as slow as you want.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. Of course, my daughter just pushes the thing down and says, "Go faster." But it also lets you do things like the rock climbing wall. And there's a number of
some other rides,
There's some other, like a rope, like a rope bridge gym and stuff like that. So it basically gets you access to everything up there. So the tram's separate, but definitely get the wristband if you're gonna do that stuff for the day. We're getting up there a day early, so Thursday, after we get settled in, we may do some stuff, or we may save it for Sunday, just depending on what we want to do. That's we get there a day early and stay there a day late. So there's plenty to do. But at Nerdtecular itself, because that's the whole reason we're going, is one of my favorite things to do, besides the obvious of all the panels, is check out the game room. We miss you, Ralphie. He will no longer be in the game room, which is sad. But you may find a new favorite board game to play or watch. There's usually a ton of Munchkin games, new board games. Every once in a while, there's a D&D game that breaks out. So just keep your eye and ear open. The game room's open pretty much, I think, from early morning to midnight, and then
we try to keep it going almost 24/7. If there's someone awake, we try to keep someone up in there.
Exactly. Cool.
If you are bringing, let's say, a non-gaming spouse to Nerdtacular, do try to get them involved in a Munchkin game.
Yes. 3 o'clock in the morning, preferably in the hallway.
Yes, and it was awesome.
Yes. There are plenty of games for the hardcore board gamer, and there are plenty of games for the more casual games like Munchkin or other things to do. Also, if you have a complete non-gaming spouse, significant other,
there's a spa.
There's a spa. Bring your swimsuit.
Yes. Yeah. Spa is good.
So
we like eating spa.
Well, that's my ramble. What about you, McCullough?
All right. Well, non-Nerdtacular stuff. As always, my computer gaming time has been nil, but I am getting back into my first love, RPGs. So our old Monday group is back together. We are gone through 2 weeks playing a new game that was recently kickstarted called City of Mist. There's a starter PDF on their website, cityofmist.co. It's a noir game where everyone is a mortal representation of a mystical power. Though Tet might just be the mortal embodiment of Jin because he drank a bit during the first game, and it was hilarious. He got a little into his character. We're
As you do.
As you do. Like, wow, Declan really likes a gin. I'm buying him a flask. Anyway, we're going through a parade adventure right now, trying to solve 3 mysterious murders and a robbery, preferably before Halloween night. So it's really good. It's really kind of atmospheric. It's a lot of fun. My Thursday Thunder, as we call it, that group has been moved to Woden's Day, though we're on a hiatus due to real life schedules, unfortunately. And my every other Friday group with the G&G crew is in full swing. A great game so far, and the DM has a good combination of battles and player development, which is kind of the way I like to game. Oh, and I'm playing a Cthulhu-powered crazy warlock from Thay, which makes things interesting. If you want to follow that along, we actually do stream, and the game is available after the fact on the YouTube channel and through iTunes. To search for Geek and Geeklets, and the D&D game on their channels marked Forgotten Prince. Oh, and a warning: this game is saltier than a drunken raid night. I don't know how often I hear from behind me if the Hordling is in the room language, and she only hears my portion of it.
Oh.
You've been warned. It's pretty bad. Now, for the Nerdtacular stuff, to kind of piggyback what Tet said, if you're staying at Snowbird, it's good to plan for a free day or 2 for all the activities and get the wristband. We get one for the kiddo, and we get actually we get one for us, and we kind of make it loose so we can trade it off and on depending on who's hanging out with friends and who's one manning the kid. But she's a teenager now, so we might not need to worry about it as much. Yeah. Also, there's a breakfast buffet at the atrium. And I think you get a tram ticket ride or tram ticket with it. So it's a great way, kind of, hey, have breakfast, go up the mountain. Usually we do the mile hike down to the ski lift. But we're going to try to. Like I said, I want to try to hike all the way down this year. We'll see. The food is really expensive, but there's some good restaurants in Snowbird and also out of Snowbird. We like the AIE, which is their deluxe restaurant. It's up at the very top. Beautiful view, great cocktails, great food, and they do have a good happy hour deals if those are going. The atrium, as aforementioned, they open at 7 a.m. and they have really good breakfast and coffee.
And a killer breakfast burrito. So
they do. They really do.
Yeah. And they will gladly let you, at least they have the past few Nerdtaculars, if you brought bagels or other things, since your room doesn't come with the toaster, they will gladly let you toast, bagel or whatever down there. So they're good people.
They are, and I hear from a certain man that's guesting on our show, the pie is excellent as well as off-site.
And go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, where is that going to be at?
It's right down the mountain. It's right down the mountain now. Since all of us will probably have, or at least know someone with a smartphone of some sort.
Yeah.
Google Maps will be your best friend, or the Waze if
Definitely.
You're one of those people, like me.
Yeah.
But it's out there. It's an excellent pizza joint. It's a local chain, so you're not going to find it too much out there. But it's excellent pizza. And from recent business trips to Salt Lake, there is a vast majority of locally owned, excellent burger joints. I would strongly recommend hitting those dudes up.
Awesome.
Yep.
And also on the topic of food, since I'm a food expert, because I like at least eating it. There is a pretty good on-site steakhouse on the at Snowbird.
As long as you eat meat.
If you do, it's good. If you're a vegetarian, it might not be as good for you.
Or
my
if you
vegetarian wife go there She did have I believe they made her like a pasta dish and some other veggies and stuff, and she really liked it. So there is a compromise.
Yeah,
Yep.
there is.
There
Yeah,
is
we
a
went.
compromise.
We went. I can't remember what. I think I ate like shrimp cocktail.
Yeah.
Since I'm not a veg, but I don't eat red meat, so. But it was. I mean, everyone seemed to like the food they had.
So if you don't eat
so
red meat,
speaking
if we
of-
just like color your glasses like blue or something and turn it blue, will you eat it then?
Yeah.
I'm just saying here.
No.
Is it no? Okay.
No, because it's still a mammal and it still upsets my system, and we don't need to go into that.
Well, we do need to remind people that the Mexican place has good drinks,
Oh,
or at
yeah.
least, you know,
Yes.
They
that's
decent
where you can
drinks,
find a lot of people.
good chips.
Usually,
I don't know. Last year
usually
the
now, you know,
margaritas were.
Russell, go ahead.
I was like, usually last year the margaritas were kind of weak. At least a Thursday night when SJ and I had some.
I think they got better though.
They may have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
Once
that's
they
usually
had an
good.
actual volume of people.
exactly. And
Yeah.
that's a good place to spot SJ, Maui,
Yeah.
Russell
So we usually go out
Brower,
for lunch with them.
You know,
Yeah. All right. So also, like, so Abba mentioned off-site food. There's a place that we go every year. It's called Sushi Groove. It was suggested to us by the sushi is great. The music is really loud. But I think they've actually expanded to a patio now. And they have really fun desserts, like this really crazy dessert that involves like ice cream and deep fried Oreos, and it's delicious. We try to actually go every year. They are closed on Sunday though. Just a warning. I think their website is sushigrooveutah.com. Also with the food, a really great savings is there's good convenience store delis. Also, we hit Target every year right down the mountain, and we'll stock up on room food, lunch meat, yogurt. Since rooms do usually have small refrigerators.
Yep.
Now, for Nerdtacular itself, there's all the panels. Those are posted. There's the game room of Tets mentioned, and you mentioned we love the game room. Sometimes you will actually have Cards Against Humanity and Munchkin breakout in the hallway. Just remember, it's 3 a.m. Just let me win, and we can all go to bed.
Never.
I won anyway, Abbo. I won.
Yep.
Oh.
And Nevermore is still trying to get even with me. Like, whenever we play Munchkin, literally, she doesn't care who wins as long as I lose.
yeah. there's some petty revenge there.
It's gotten ridiculous. Bring your own games if you want to play. If you bring them to the game room, make sure you have them marked appropriately.
That's just-
Okay, guys, I want to say this. I just got a message from old lady Frank's. Sushi is still happening this year because this is the only time I really get to eat any. As we're talking on the podcast, she is not listening. She sensed the Sushi Groove conversation. Anyway, sorry. So bring your own games. Bring dice because sometimes there will be a pickup D&D game, Star Wars game. Sometimes people have things planned. Now, for like the con area itself, there are usually a handful of vendors. I know for sure that there's going to be the Tadpole Collective, the aforementioned Nevermore, who hates me winning. Munchkin is going to have a table. She's going to carry some of Jules's chainmail at her table. I know Gates of Imagination and Joe Gates with all his wonderful leatherwork is going to be there. I'm going to be there. We're going to have Leontine's, also chainmail. We're going to have great, fabulous dueling chainmail, but it's not similar at all.
But what are you bringing?
Oh, I am bringing about 11 million headbands and steampunk jewelry and other jewelry as well.
And no, when she says headband, also think hatband,
Hatband.
because they can be used for gentlemen's hats or for costume hats. So,
Or for the gentlemen that have lovely long hair like our own Miyuko. They were rocked quite a bit at Phoenix Comic Con.
Yep.
The other really fun event, and this is actually, I think you can still do this even if you're not at Nerdtacular, but if you're like in the area coming down for the day or whatever, there's a meet and greet on Thursday evening, which is like the official kickoff. It's in this great huge tent. It's a wonderful event. There's food. There's a bar, not open, thankfully, because Tet would then drink all the gin. And I know there's a fair few of us that are doing 1920s Disney cosplay.
including me.
I know. I can't wait to see it. We also have
They hunting down parts for it, so we should be good to go.
Wonderful. I know sometimes there's light cosplay on Friday, and then Saturday is the cosplay spectacular. There's the big Sometimes it's a contest, sometimes it's just a showcase. But if you like cosplay at all, come be involved. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I think was it 2014? They decided to stop doing the actual competition, and it's just you've participated. They used to do a group and then a child and then an individual thing. And said, you know what? They don't want people competing. Just do your best.
Right.
Exactly. Yep. All right. So Mew, what are you going to be up to?
Well, there's this convention coming up.
There's a thing.
Yeah. But beyond that, beyond Final Fantasy XIV, which we'll focus on shortly, I have been spending a little bit of time in WoW with the curiously timed launch of Tomb of Thorgarius.
There's nothing curiously timed about it. You know it was intentional.
But I've not let that distract me too badly, actually. Beyond just with the 2 grade groups I'm on, I've spent most of my time at Final Fantasy XIV. But I have actually, when I'm not in the gaming layer, been spending some time finally playing Zelda on the Switch.
Ooh, yeah.
And that's been pretty enjoyable. And it's one of those things. And I'm a little behind on all the the podcasters, but I've been enjoying the fact that I can very easily plunk that thing down in the dock and have it on the TV, or pick it up and go lay in bed while Jen's getting ready to get to sleep, and still continue.
That's actually a good idea, because I'm fairly certain Ryan's going to bring her Switch up, so there may be some
yes, I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, Smash Brothers games or other games going on. So
probably Mario Kart is the big group game right now. Yeah, so I'll be bringing that as well with me. But if you have a Switch, bring it along. There'll probably be plenty of people running around. There is hotel Wi-Fi. Once the Nerdtacular actually gets going, they may allow us to access the good Wi-Fi. It's the convention-grade Wi-Fi that'll actually support us. The hotel Wi-Fi it's good enough, but they have some decent internet pipes there somewhere. So that'll be part of it. But that's part of Nerdtacular. But Zelda, WoW, and lots of Final Fantasy XIV. So might as well talk about Nerdtacular stuff.
Yes.
So this time around, we live in Texas now, so there's no road trip. We could, but it's honestly too far away to really be worth it.
It's a little bit long, yeah.
Yeah. The benefit would have been we might have been to stop by and harass you guys again, but I don't think the toddler would appreciate it, because he didn't like it the last time.
No.
So yeah, we're flying in, direct flight at least. I definitely recommend that if you have a toddler. He survives a lot better that way. Getting an SUV, so we will be stocking up down the hill at the Target, probably the same Target everyone else uses. I definitely recommend that if you can, because yes, they have most of the stuff you're going to need at Nerdtacular, but it's going to be with a premium. However, the only thing you shouldn't get is booze. Don't bring any alcohol whatsoever.
Bring alcohol.
Do not bring it. Seriously, they will find it. It's not that they're trying to get you to buy theirs. It's actually the law. Like, they could lose their liquor license if you bring alcohol up there. So if you're gonna drink, you really should drink with them.
The convenience store does have their own stuff.
Yep.
So you can purchase it from there, but there's just like any other resort, there's bars aplenty if that is your thing.
Yes, and seriously, like, we're not just going wink, wink, don't bring your own. No, seriously, do not sneak it. I mean, seriously, do not. It is a big deal. That's why I'm making such a big deal about it.
That and fireworks. Don't do that either.
Well, yeah.
Oh God, let's not do that.
No, there's not even a place to set them off. It's just you're. And one of the things I wanted to mention, you are in a national park. This is like literally a national park. You're not on private hotel land. They are actually leasing that land from a national park. So you need to contend with being in a park. No fireworks, no kind of fire whatsoever. Don't bring typically anything that's kind of like pesticide-y. Like, try to bring natural pest repellents. They definitely appreciate that, and because there's bugs. There's lots of bugs up there. There's lots of critters. There's lots of animals. It's at a park. There's mices and mooses and All kinds of little,
All
critters.
kinds of bugs.
You know.
Groundhogs.
Yes, lots of groundhogs, mice, very, very feisty and overly aggressively friendly squirrels.
Yes.
If you do eat at the Mexican restaurant, expect to get a visit from the squirrels. They're very fat. They're very well fed, apparently. Beyond that, keep in mind, and hopefully you've been training for this, like I have. There's lots of hills. You're pretty much going uphill everywhere, both ways, in the rain and snow. Yeah, lots of hills. And be ready for it.
I will say 1 year I actually experienced why there are fainting couches when I was there.
Mhm.
Corset plus altitude plus hill
Plus
equals.
following Alidra's very tall husband who came to get me because we were up in like the pizza joint, and he came to find me because they couldn't get through via text because Aludra needed help with makeup, and so I was dressed for the costume contest. I was in a corset. I was in boots. I walked down that hill to help Aludra, and I got there and literally, I mean, I'm a fairly in shape woman. I work out. I'm small. I eat well. I found the first available couch, and literally I was like taking these itty bitty little shallow breaths because I could not breathe and I was about to pass out.
Yep.
Mhm. It's a real deal. You need to be ready for it. That's one of the reasons why we're actually arriving on Tuesday. You need to get acclimated to being up there. The air is thinner. There's hills everywhere. I mean, it's pretty much every possible bad thing about not being able to keep your breath.
And if you are drinking as well, be very careful.
Yes.
It will hit you much faster.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I don't drink,
You all will be like me.
yeah,
Fish cage.
I see it all the time. People
Yep.
are not expecting it, and it just hits them so hard. Yeah, hopefully you can carry your friends that don't heed the warning.
Yeah.
Other than that, there is that nice central activity area we were talking about. Take advantage of it. If you're going to be there a little earlier, there's lots to do. It's getting bigger every year. It seems like they're adding new stuff to it. It's not
I
just.
think there's a new roller coaster this year, even.
Yeah, they've been adding what they can, and they're actually really good about not clear cutting a bunch of trees or whatnot. They're actually making the rides go through the trees. There's also what's been there for a while, the slaloms. I actually like the slalom. They're pretty cool. They're actually just in the hills, and you can go downhill super fast. And connected to those is also some zip lines. So if you're into zip lining, they have those. The coasters, as we mentioned. There are these trampoline things with the bungee cords, and it's
Think altitude though.
yes. You'll get tired real quick.
Yeah. You'll sleep really well because you'll be exhausted.
Yes. And there's
Speak for yourself.
plenty to do. plenty to do. Lots of food. I did also want to mention that one, the AIE. I'm pretty sure if you're staying in the Clip Clop that it's actually what room service is for them. It's also the AIE. Yeah.
Yep.
So if you can't make it up to the top, get room service. You'll still get the same good food.
Yep.
And bring lots of water. I'm gonna say that again. You know how you see those comically large blocks of bottled waters? Yeah, you're actually going to need that. You might need two.
I should have grabbed those at Traders today. Whoops.
Yeah. You need a lot of water. I mean, you're going to be just slamming it. Like, it's going to be the tastiest water you've ever had after you've been there for a while. Other than that, there are lots of gift shops. I actually like the one up in the Cliff Lodge. I actually like it a little better than the one down in the activity center.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it just seems like it's got better stock to it. I guess it's probably because it's designed for, like, if you're kind of trapped in that hotel because it's
right.
snowed in. It's like it's got everything you can possibly think of you need. And the one down the hill, it's got good stuff. It seems like it's more shirts and stuff like that.
It's more touristy as opposed
Yeah.
to supplies and stuff like that. I mean, sunblock. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Bring
Sunblock.
sunblock because yes, you're at altitude, which means you're you're a mile closer to the sun, but also the air's thinner. There's less protection. You're gonna get fried if you don't sunblock.
Yep. You will burn real quick. What else was there? I mean, it's a lot to take in. If this is your first time, take a moment and just stop and look around. You're almost going to be forced to. It is that picturesque. I mean, bring a camera.
Gorgeous. Oh, and if you're driving up at night, please be very careful. There are moose and deer and all of that, and they will get in the middle of that road.
Yeah, that's where they live. You are invading, so
not
you're
to
in the
mention
way.
the road itself isn't a straight shot. It is very, very windy.
It's gorgeous. Yeah, it's windy.
It's also
gorgeous
terrifying
at night.
It's
terrifying. Yes, it's terrifying at night because there's no street lights. There's no reflectors to let you know. So
take your time.
Go during the day if you can for your first time up.
Well, even during the day, take your time. It's not a race to get to the top. Your car will make it. It just take your time. Going downhill, take your time. It's not a race. You're definitely a lot safer to go slower.
Was it like around like 10, 15 minute up and down?
Yeah, and it's a nice drive.
Yeah,
especially going down, then you get to see Salt Lake on the way down, Salt Lake City.
If you're in shape, you can and you will see a bunch of people riding their bikes up or jogging up.
Those are what we call crazy people.
Yes,
they are crazy. They are indeed crazy, but watch out for them. You don't want to knock them out into the ravine.
Yes.
We might hate them because they're so in shape. However, let's not hurt them.
No. Yep. It's gorgeous. I'm definitely bringing my camera again. I've got the nice Sony camera. It's worth it to just stop and take everything in, take all the pictures you can. That's probably the time I take the most pictures ever, is just when you're up there and there's just so much to see, even on the tram. The tram is a great place for pictures. So if you're looking for top of the hill, is probably one of the most gorgeous places. I think this year finally the restaurant is done at the top of the hill.
I think so. Yes.
So that'll be something to look at. Yeah, that might be worth checking out. And there's plenty to do. Also, for those that want to explore the area of Salt Lake as you're visiting, there's a lot of really neat malls not too far. I want to say 20 minutes. It's northish of the main road that takes you into Snowbird. There's a really big mall there that's got lots of neat stuff. If you're into the geeky stuff, which you probably are listening to us, there's not well. Then you might not like the life-size TARDIS that's in that mall, and some other neat geeky things.
Excuse me, is it bigger on the inside?
Probably not. I think their chameleon unit broke, and on top of that, the technology to actually get the bigger on the inside broke too. So it's just kind of hanging there in the air. But it was neat. I mean, it's a neat little malls, and there's a spaghetti factory there, which I think we need to hit.
Salt Lake in general is nerd friendly.
Yes.
From going there for fun, going there for business, it is definitely a nerd friendly town.
Yep. I would agree.
All right. I think we could probably go on for another half hour on this, but I think we have some news and Final Fantasy stuff to get to, don't you?
Indeed.
All right.
And now this week's news.
AIE News.
They're finally at the news section.
Yeah, I know, right?
We talk. We realize when we actually give ourselves permission to talk, we just go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We do. All right.
Hour 6 of the AIE podcast.
Exactly.
Finally, we're to the end of the news. Yes.
All right. In community news, speaking of community, Gretchen on the forums has started a new blog about D&D, board games, and other tabletop RPGs, and would love to have folks check it out. Most of her friends had been playing WoW in AIE and have left for other things, so she started a new blog. So feel free to check that out.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. And speaking of WoW, WoW has a good write-up on the Warcraft class design AMA on Reddit. Links in the show notes. You can just Google it as well. And did you get your BlizzCon tickets? Well, we sure didn't. Anyways, there's going to be another shot. A new hall at the Anaheim Convention Center will be usable by the time BlizzCon rolls around, and Blizzard was kind enough to open up new tickets. Wednesday, July 5th at 7 p.m. Pacific time on universe.com. So go ahead and go to the fight to the death to get those tickets.
F5, 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 F5.
Yep.
And in SWTOR news, SWTOR Escape Podcast 199. Ooh, getting close to that 200. Balancing Act. This week at AIE SEMA and at Max the Gray and Astromech EPC 199 walk through the feedback posts from Charles, Eric, and Keith, and then dive deep into the class balance outline that's been posted recently. So check that out. And
in STO news, we have Captain Sybil's Star Trek Online news summary for the week ending 6/25/2017. The annual RISA Summer Festival is still going strong until July 20th. There's still plenty of time to win prize vouchers for new vanity pets, beachwear, mini powerboards, jetpacks, a new T6 Vorgon starship, and much, much more. Prize lists and starship stats are available in the Star Trek Online website. A new Endeavor system will be coming soon to STO in an upcoming update. Every 2 to 3 days, a new Endeavor mini mission will begin. No need to hail an admiral and get a lengthy briefing, just jump in and go. Captains are free to pick and choose any mini missions, each of which earns a huge variety of immediate rewards for captains and their fleets. The STO website says it all. And 2 new backstories were posted to the STO website blog. The June 7th posting, Cold Dishes, hints at a sadistic Klingon prison warden's plot to overthrow the entire Klingon Empire. And the June 22nd posting, A First's Tale, relates to Jem'Hadar prisoners' tale of capture, imprisonment, and survival under horrific experimentation by the sadistic Klingon warden. Both stories are an essential must-read for an upcoming story arc. And lifetime subscriptions for PC players. From now until July 27th, lifetime subscriptions are discounted by $100 to $199 US. Get yourself a lifetime of Star Trek bliss.
All right, and Star Trek Online has joined up with Razer pay-to-play programs. Starting soon, you'll have the option to play STO through Razer Cortex Gaming Portal and begin earning Razer's Z Silver currency for every minute you play the game. I wonder how much Sybil would have, actually, if that was available when she started. Use your Z Silver to purchase gaming keyboards, mice, headsets, and much more from Razer and other participating dealers. The exciting at the STO website. And in Starship news, the Constitution and Miranda class cruisers have had their looks updated to match the TV and movie configurations. Also, Ferengi Starships campaigns have been added to the Admiralty system. A 23rd Century R&D promotion starting June 22nd through July 5th will give captains a choice to win a T-faction-specific temporal cruiser whenever an R&D pack is purchased from the C-Store and open. And finally, as always, the AIE's Fleet Starbase is looking for contributions of material and personnel. Check out news, backstories, patch notes, and all the goodies at StarTrekOnline.com. Until then, Captain Sybil says, live long and prosper.
Alrighty, and with that, let's get back to Evaban and find out what's going on in Final Fantasy XIV. As if I didn't know.
What? Oh, we're here.
Yes.
We're here. Okay. Yeah, so guys, remember, this podcast needs to run only an hour, and we've used the first 46 minutes talking about non-Final Fantasy stuff, so I'm just kidding. Keep going.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. All right, first off, we have a new expansion, Stormblood.
Mm-hmm.
Expansions are fun. Oh, wait, you're stuck in the queue.
Yep, I was going to say.
And
you're
you
in the
can't
queue.
get on the server.
You're in the queue. Yeah.
So in other words... So, Abbo, in other words, what you're saying is the first 45 minutes of the show to get to the FFXIV news was a queue.
Yes, but
Got
this time,
it.
instead of playing another game, I actually paid attention to what you guys were saying because,
Totally.
Okay.
No, so so there is a queue to get and there's still a little bit on our server here, but they have added more resources. They have done some patches and some updates since then. It's significantly easier to get into the game now. It's significantly easier to stay in the game now.
Yes. It's during the pre-launch nights, the queues were usually 2,000 or 3,000 long. Last few nights, it's probably been around 300 instead, which is quite a change.
Yeah, it was like 5-10 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
And that's only during prime time. If you go in during the day, you're in almost immediately, if not immediately. What made it interesting, even though you got in the game, there's a lot of they call them duties. It's like a little story instance, which is just you to go there, and to progress through the game, you have to go through the story quests, including these story instances you have to run. Well, the instance server was so jam packed that you couldn't get one of those, so that was a wall that you had to go through.
Yeah, and it was kind of actually entertaining to see, especially over on the Europe servers. People were actually physically lining up at the NPCs, hoping that forcing people to go through a physical line would actually help the servers a little bit. So that was actually kind of interesting to see, which of course didn't really help because people noticed that the line wasn't moving, or if it did, it's because someone ahead of them gave up. But yeah, they finally were able to figure that out.
But you can get in dungeons and instances and everything else like that on a regularly without crashing and such. A lot of the fixes have came down, so that's good.
Yeah, and oddly enough, the only scenarios that seem to be having this problem were the new ones, because like I actually during that time did scenarios for like older the class ones for some of the lower ones, had no problem. They went right in fine. So apparently they kind of like how when WoW has a new expansion comes out, they have like dedicated hardware to just that area. You've noticed like the crashes always seem to be isolated on whatever the new stuff is. They seem to do the same stuff with Stormblood.
Yep. Okay.
What made it frustrating for me is during the launch weekend, I was in a Amazon Web Services class. So I have all fresh in my mind saying automatic spinning of new instances. They're not using that.
Nope.
So that was fresh in my mind. But anyway, what is Stormblood and what's it all about? What's all the hubbub about? Well, first off, we have two major new areas here. Two new, let's call them like factions per se. Just like little zoning areas here. You have Alamigo and Doma. Two vastly different areas there. You sort of like flow in between the two. The two have their own little connections and so forth. Alamigo.
And actually, I actually have the map here.
A map.
Ooh.
Yes.
You got to turn around first. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So, just to give you an idea, up until now, this is unfortunately this is visual. So for your listening, sorry, podcast listeners, but this is the world that we knew of up until recently. And then this little section right here is what was opened up for Alamigo. And then they said, oh, by the way, here's the rest of the world.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah. So there's a little itty-bitty places here and there, but essentially we have a gigantic new continent to worry about, plus the big clouded shroud thing in the middle that
we
haven't
Garland.
Seen yet.
Yeah.
So that's another expansion probably, unless we go to another plane of existence.
I'm guessing it's probably going to be another expansion, but you never know. They've surprised me with just the constant amount of content. Like even up until when Stormcom came out, they were still coming out with content patches. We were still having new story. We had stuff that led right up into it, and it's just constantly coming. It was one of the things that always amazed me about this team. But it's been interesting. Oh, one thing I did want to mention about like Alamigo. If you've been playing the game up until now, you've heard lots about Alamigo. There's a place over in the desert. It's called Little Alamigo, where a lot of the refugees were living, because it's kind of like that area. But
and a lot of the main characters there, they mentioned they were from there, and it was overtaken by the Garland Empire, and it was always there. There's always been influencing other characters, saying our home has been destroyed. Do you want our home to be destroyed too? No, we don't. Let's go fight. Stuff like that. Now we actually are going back into there, and it's been in game like 30-40 years, so it's been like a whole generation on there. So some of the plot lines is, hey, this has been our way of life for an entire generation here. Why should I follow you? And then hilarity ensues.
Yeah, it's been interesting because like you couldn't really tell because of the way the game was framed, but there's been this giant wall next to the area called Gridania, that is what the Empire put up after they conquered Alamigo. In the way back, like it was an open area, and it was kind of interesting. Alamigo actually fought Gridania a lot. Actually fought with I think Uldo a little bit. So it's kind of interesting that we now get to. Oh, by the way, there's a giant wall right there. That's where the Empire's been. So
and was the subject for the last dungeon they put in the game there.
Yep, we get tricked into essentially having to invade.
Yes.
Yep. And that all happened before the expansion even started. So that's like I said, they're constantly bringing out interesting content updates. But yeah.
So you have that, and then you have Doma, a very Asian influenced area.
Gorgeous.
Also, for you Final Fantasy veterans out there, when I say the word Doma, and you played Final Fantasy 6 or 3 if you're back in the Super Nintendo era, Doma should click in as a country that got invaded and eventually destroyed by Kefka. So I'm waiting for the shoe to drop, and it's like, I hope it doesn't, but it has the name.
Yeah.
So there's that. Other fun stuff. It is a continuation of the plot. So you have continuation of character development in characters in the previous expansions and in the base game do come around in this one. And so you still have those people, but also new ones to work with. Essentially it's an ongoing plot, from the original Final Fantasy 14 that you can't even play anymore to A Realm Reborn, the one that you can play and start with, to Heaven's Ward, which is the last expansion, into Stormblood. It's a continuous cohesive storyline going on.
Yep. And mandatory that you follow that entire line. So if you're new to the game, unless you do something we're going to talk about later, you have to go through this entire main story quest, or MSQ as people often talk about it. So it's a long, winding story, but it's very compelling.
Right. Other fun things that happen here. Combat skill revamp. Same basic rules apply to combat. You have skills, you use skills to reduce bad guys' HP to 0. That's not really changing. Tanks are still tanks, healers are still healers, DPS is still DPS. That's not changing. Having to be able to play a piano concerto on your keyboard to be able to do your proper rotation, that's gone. They simplified their skills, removing unused skills, maybe changing rotations around, essentially making so you don't have skill bloat, which for those who played WoW prior to Cataclysm, things got a little out of hand there. And for those who ever played EverQuest or EverQuest 2, it's really out of hand in those games. Here you have you still have the feel of the classes. The class feels are still there. They just don't have all the weird, you have to do 14 buttons to enable one thing.
Yeah.
So I play Warrior in Final Fantasy for the most part. My rotation is far simpler now, and it still feels like I'm an aggressive tank, which is what the Warrior is supposed to be.
Cool.
And one big thing that they did away with the need to go into other subclasses if you don't want to. One of the old ways of doing things is if you wanted to get to your advanced job, say, for example, my main was Archer that becomes a Bard. Well, for who knows what reason, they decided, well, you need to level up Pugilist to 15 because they had this thing what they called cross skills. If you did all the various other classes up to 15, up to 30, up to 40 and 50, you then got available, you were able to basically borrow one of the skills from that class on your other class. They did away with that. That whole system's gone. You no longer are required to go level something you may not be into. Like, for example, if you wanted to play a Paladin, you had to do Warrior because Warrior has some skills that are just required. You had to play. Yeah, well, no. You had to start with Gladiator, of course. Yeah, but you still had to do Warrior. Warrior has some abilities that you had to have if you wanted to be a good tank. You started out as the Gladiator, of course, but that's the thing is, as a Gladiator, you had to go do White Mage for 15 levels for some reason. Even though you didn't really use healing magic, you still had to go through that process. It was this thing that kind of made the game feel very grindy. If you wanted to be top of the game, you had to do all these other classes, not just the one that was designated as the extra subclass. You had to do practically everything because almost every class had some kind of little extra buff or a defensive ability or something else. Well, what they did is they made these new kind of shared what's the term for it?
Roll, I believe it is.
Yes, roll. That's it. So every roll has a new set of choices that you can pick. For example, Bard has a self heal, has a way to generate TP, basically the action points. Has a mana refresh, has something to speed everyone's running speed, and other things like that. The mana classes will have like the ability to clean off debuffs off of their party members, little things like that. Like it's now just as you level your actual class that you care about, you get access to new stuff, and that system makes a ton more sense to me. So I'm very glad that they revamped that. It's because I didn't want to go through all the. I have these main classes that I'm really interested in. I don't want to go back and level these other classes that don't get the benefit of going through the MSQ. You have to go through dungeons or do leaves or stuff like that to catch up, and they really simplified that. So I'm definitely happy with that change.
And what makes it interesting from a customization and choices perspective is there's like 8 to 10. I forget how many off the top of my head, but there's a lot of role choices.
Mm-hmm.
But you can only pick 6 of them. So you have to make some choices on, do I, similar to like a talent tree almost.
Mm-hmm.
I need for this fight, I know I need a single taunt, an AoE taunt, a defensive cooldown, and a offensive cooldown, because I know I need it for this fight. Next, for general doing whatever's, I need these skill sets, and whatever the case may be. But the fact that you have to make choices makes it interesting. Yep.
And some of them too is like, these things do really well when you're soloing. These are more for a group dynamic. There's actually some that literally say that you cannot use it on yourself. You can only use it on party members, like stuff like that. You can tell that was made for, partying together. Right. So it's just, they definitely did a much better job. And the thing that I'm most excited about is they finally fixed bards. One of the things that really annoyed me and a lot of other people in Heaven's Ward is they decided we're going to make bards and the new class machinists stand still while they do everything. They basically turned them into physical caster classes. They had to sit there and for whatever reason start casting, shooting an arrow, which made no sense. They had to cast while they're pulling a trigger. It made no sense to me. And eventually they did agree and say, yeah, we're taking that completely away. So bards and machinists now are mobile again, like they were essentially made for. They can run around and do their thing. So that I'm definitely happy about that. And bards sing now. They actually have songs that do something interesting. Before, most people forgot that the bards sung. It's a bard.
It is a
right,
bard,
and that's the essence of the character.
Yes.
Which sometimes makes them so weird. Like you do your magic through just okay. Same thing with, been a thing forever.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool.
Yep. So now there's songs that actually do something. They can even have song combos, and it actually feels like you're contributing something to the group. It's actually kind of fun. So, and that's not just Bard. Like every class got something interesting. It's kind of like how for what was it, Draenor, or for a while when they decided to finally bring back the class to actually make it feel like you're playing a interesting class again.
I think they started it in Draenor and then brought it in Legion.
Yeah. Well, definitely with the class quest, but like all of the classes feel a lot more unique. One of the things I didn't like about the Machinist when it came in is it felt like a bard with a gun. It wasn't that interesting. Well, they've finally given it to where it has a turret that are actually doing interesting stuff for the turret. The bard's singing. It's the samurai are actually trying to do interesting sword play to gain a gauge and then do an ultimate attack where they do the whole put the blade in the sheath and then bring it out and devastate everyone. They did a lot of interesting stuff with this come around to make it feel like the class.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. We sort of went over these last two here. So AIE in Final Fantasy 14. Let's talk about us.
Yes.
We're awesome.
We really are.
So Gilgamesh is our server. Our server is very busy. There's a lot of people on the server. So many that our server is locked. Locked means You cannot roll a new character on it, nor can you transfer to the server. Boo, hiss. But you can still play with AIE people and AIE members in there. There's they have server groupings, which they call data centers. It's essentially just a collection of servers. All right, even though they're on the same data center, regardless.
Yeah.
This grouping of server, if you're in our the Gilgamesh data center or the Ether data center, that's a Ether, because
it's not either, it's Aether.
No. So if you're in there, you can do cross server parties, and we can actually you go into the party finder and you can actually add people to your group from other servers. Just enter like your little group password and. So you can still do stuff in there. The best way to get in contact with people on other servers is the AIE Discord. Come in and say hello. I'm more than happy to help run stuff with you now. This includes other things that cannot be done with the advent of Stormblood. They've made it so you can do cross-party stuff for Palace of the Dead, which had to be your local server only. You can now do Palace of the Dead as a cross server, so that's a big change. But all of your dungeons, all your raids, and all your other instance content can all now be done through the Party Finder. So if you can't get on Gilgamesh, you can roll on another server on the data center. No problem. We can get you involved.
And related to that, it's kind of interesting that I've seen, especially at night, they've been blasting us with this server message saying, "We're going to reward you if you leave Gilgamesh." No, really, leave Gilgamesh. We'll make it free, and we're going to give you stuff if you leave. So that's the thing is, I think that might actually be working. Some of the smaller guilds are actually taking them up on that offer because they are. It's still not where we would like it to be, but like they are giving you something. Like they're refunding you on your house if you did happen to buy a house, but you then have to deal with getting a new house on a new server. They're hoping you go to a low pop one though.
And I also saw that. I think it was in the Discord thread, something like if you do transfer to a low pop server, they're giving you something like 100% XP on the quests and stuff.
Yeah, they're trying to entice everyone off of those servers because we don't want to leave. We like it there, so they're doing everything they can to try to bribe us to leave. And some people are taking them up on it.
Yeah, or bribe other people to leave to reduce the congestion on that server. So.
Yes, yeah.
What makes it hard for us to move? And the reason why we have, we really can't is we have a large house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Large houses are a limited commodity.
Mm-hmm.
So much that they are nearly taken on every server.
Yeah.
Right. So that would be a
career limiting move.
Right.
Probably a few 100 million gil that we would have to replace through the actual land, buying everything and all the furnishings that we have.
Yeah, we have tons of furnishings, and they've doubled to the amount of furnishings you can have. Yes. So we have even more stuff on there. And the thing is they haven't figured out the system yet to actually bring our stuff with us. Because not only is it just the fact that we have to rebuy all that, but some of that stuff we've earned. It's stuff we've actually gotten, through a lot of hard work, or we've crafted, or stuff like that. And it's not. I mean, especially if you're going to a low pop server, that stuff probably isn't for sale. You'll have to craft it yourself.
Exactly. And as much as say she would have fun redecorating the house, I think she kind of has it the way she wants it right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Every day I go in there's something new. So yeah, she's currently going through and doing a lot of very, very cool things. A lot of cool manipulation of existing game assets into something that I haven't thought of before. So it's a very interesting game to play.
Yep. Although now my cat can't get on top of the fish tank, so that's
because the fish tank is now suspended in air. That's why.
Yeah,
that's also cool. So you can now sit underneath the fish tank.
Yeah, stare up at the fish.
Here, dinner. Here, dinner.
Yeah.
And we actually have more fish in there now.
And on top of all this other fun, there's going to be a rush pretty soon in a week or two because Kugane, one of the new areas, is going to open up its housing area. So
if you get it within the first 5, maybe 6 seconds, you might be able to buy a house.
Possibly, yes. you know that there's going to be tons of guilds all just right there and ready to go the second that thing opens because they have a preview, so you can actually preview the new housing area and look around and ooh and ah and all that fun stuff. But it's not quite open, but there's going to be a line of people just waiting to jump on that thing.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's going to be something big. So Gilgamesh, locked. But you want to play with AIE people. You hop on the data center. Now, we sort of have been saying here, let's try to have AIE people play together as much as they can. So, but we don't have the time or energies to be able to create multiple guilds and have them link together. But we do have a link shell on the server Goblin. All right. I still recommend using Discord for chatting.
Sure.
For inter-server chatting on there, but just for saying you have people on your server there, we do have a link shell set up just so you can see who's online. Easy way to say who is online and offline within the AIE member set.
Cool.
Now the link shell doesn't provide any sort of free company buffs or something like that, but we can make suggestions on the Goblin server for you. But we're going to leave that up to you because the ones that we do see out there, even though they are good and cool people, they don't follow the AIE chat mindset or the player mindset, so it may not be something that you're not used to. They do not follow AIE standards. I can tell you that.
It's not AIE, so that's it's understandable.
If it's not AIE,
Yep.
it's not AIE.
Yep.
To be honest, doesn't mean they're not cool people, but I play games. I play within AIE because I like the AIE systems and the sort of culture that we have.
We are the way we conduct ourselves, our sense of citizenship.
Yep.
Yes,
Exactly.
So I can't guarantee that. We can make suggestions for you, but within the chat channel, that will be we'll have that sort of that culture still intact. And then when server transfers will be allowed, then then we'll try to get people in, and then in the free company, and then they can hang out in the house, get our buffs, and all the other good stuff.
Yeah.
And for details on getting the big thing is hop onto the Final Fantasy chat. The Final Fantasy Discord channel, and we'll get you started. We'll get you in there.
And please note there are 2 Final Fantasy channels. Make sure that if you don't want spoilers, you stay out of the one labeled Final Fantasy spoilers because you will be spoiled.
Yes. And not the good kind of spoiling.
No, you get that as soon as you log in and you see the beautiful landscapes.
Yes.
Okay.
So how would one get started if they wanted to play Final Fantasy?
All right, so there's many additions to the game. You go to the Square Enix. Let's say you're a PC gamer, as many of us probably are.
Yeah.
There's 2 ways to buy the game. Now, there's a lot. This game is a little bit different in licensing and how you purchase it than some other games you may have experienced here. But you're buying a license. All right. When you buy it through a physical store, like a physical medium, or you go and you buy it for the Square Enix store or what have you.
Amazon.
Good old games, GOG.
Yep.
That is.
Yep.
Okay. You were essentially buying a normal key at that point, and that's fine. I'll get you on the computer version. If you are a Mac person, you buy a Mac license, which is separate from the PC license.
Yep.
If you purchase it through Steam, that's a different license than the PC version or the Mac OS version.
Mm-hmm.
And furthermore, the PlayStation 4 version is also a separate license. PlayStation 3 support was dropped in Stormblood, so you do need a PS4 now. Everybody plays on the same servers, though. Reason why the license is important, though, and especially when it comes to expansions, is you need to make sure that you buy. If you buy the base game and you get Heaven's Word, and when you buy Stormblood, you need to make sure that you buy the upgrade license to your existing one. So if you buy Stormblood for PC, make sure you have
everything for the
14
PC.
for Steam. If you bought it through Steam, you got the base game through Steam. You need to get the Steam versions of Stormblood. Even though you are playing on a PC, I realize that. But if you buy it through Steam, you have to buy all your expansions from Steam.
Yeah, they consider Steam its own console now. They're treating it like a console because Steam has a console. You can play their stuff on their console, so they're now treating it as a console.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, if you want to be able to bounce back and forth between, hey, I want to play on my PC, now I want to play it on my Mac when I'm on the go. Oh, I'm not home and I got an 80-inch TV, 4K screen. I want to play it on my PlayStation 4 Pro. Cool, but you need to have one sub will cover all those platforms, but you need to make the original license purchase for each one to add that to your account.
Yep.
Right.
So, it's a little different how it works there. So just keep that in the back of your mind.
Yep.
Getting started will cost you around $20 if you don't catch the game on sale. there is a Star Edition which will get you the base game. If you buy
Which
Stormblood,
I think that includes Heaven's Ward now, right?
not yet, not yet,
Not yet. Okay.
not yet. If you buy Stormblood, they give you Heaven's Ward.
Okay. There you go.
Right. There's also a complete edition that will give you everything under the sun.
Yep.
Or if you're lucky enough to find one on sale or on eBay, you get the collection editions for $200, and you get a ton of junk.
Is it in
Yeah,
the
That's
trunk?
just an expansion.
You
You
can
get,
put it in
you
the
get a
trunk.
statue. You get that map that Mew just showed everybody. You get a get the statue he's going for.
Yeah.
Let's say you have it all, right, Mew?
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
gorgeous.
You will very soon after starting Stormblood, you'll meet this very, very evil person.
Who carries around a golf club of swords? That is cool.
Yes. Yes, and it spins so he can randomly choose what blade he wants to do. And
Yeah.
later on, you find out why.
Cool.
Neat.
I haven't got that far yet. I'm only 67.
Oh, no, I found out earlier than that.
Really? Okay, then I must have been like very, very tired because I can only start playing at 10 o'clock at night.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah. But there's also lots of digital goodies that come with it as well. You'll get mounts if you buy some of the older collector's editions. Because I think you can get a digital upgrade now.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, so you can get older mounts. You can get they give you experience boost gear. I think this expansion they gave us was it a ring? I think it's a ring that gives you a 50% bonus to experience that lasts up to level 50.
Oh, nice.
And then
great.
previous
Wonderful.
ones gave us there was a headband that goes up to 25 or 30 that gives you a bonus, and then another one that was just a helmet. Like the very first one gave you a helmet that went up to like level 20 or something like that.
No.
But they give you this little boost.
The Novice Network got you a ring that gave you another.
Yes.
Up to 30 or 40. I forget what it is.
And I recommend, if you're definitely new, or even if you're old, do the Novice Network. It's just a simple level. You're going through these solo quests or solo instances to learn your class, and by going through these quests, not only you get like a starter set of gear for level 15, but it also gives you that novice thing, and it just teaches you how to properly use your class. So highly recommended.
Very cool.
And they also added in this expansion jump potions.
Yes.
Jump not as in vertical, jump as in forward through time. So let's say, I got this class here that I would love to play, or I want to join in my friends in Stormblood, but I don't have the time or the energy to do that, to be able to do that. Well, I can purchase a class jump to potion to drink this potion, and poof, this class is now goes all the way up to 60. So pretty much at the end of Heaven's Ward. Then you get all the stuff that it comes with, which is nice. Except for the knowledge how to play the class, but that'll come with time, obviously.
Yeah, just run the novice thing, and it'll help a lot.
Yeah, ask us in Discord, and that way we can help you get started. But so and you can easily start in Stormblood content. But
you have to get the separate.
But you still have to do all the story content to get there. Now, you can run the story content yourself to get your own experience on there. And when you're at level 60, outside of the dungeons, everything is going to be a face roll.
Yeah.
But let's say you don't have the time, or you've already know about it, or what have you. You can buy a story jump potion, and that will flag all the quests you need to get into Stormblood right then and there.
And they have it. I believe they have it for Heaven's Ward as well. So if you don't want to jump all the way through, like you just want to skip the Realm Reborn stuff, you can just go to the beginning of Heaven's Ward, and then you can run through that real quick. So that was kind of a neat little thing they did as well. And I actually did give it a try. I decided that I wanted to get a healer class up so that I could, because my main is a bard, which is DPS, but I figured it probably would be good to have one of the other role types at the closer up. So I decided to pick a healer. I picked the what do they call it? The anarchist, I think, is the main class. But with the Anarchist, because I picked that, I picked Summoner, or Scholar, actually. I picked Scholar. So it boosted
Arcanist
Arcanist, yeah.
Yeah, Arcanist versus Anarchist, which I think
Yeah.
you're saying, which would be something completely different.
Something
Well, I don't know. They do
completely
cause a lot of
different. I'm
chaos.
like, oh yeah.
They cause a lot of chaos, actually. But so I decided to go with Scholar, which you have the other choice to be a Summoner, which is a DPS spec. So by choosing Scholar, I got basically a free 60 Summoner. So it was kind of interesting. Oh, that's probably because I moved it out of the way.
You're fine.
But yeah, it's kind of cool that it kind of gives you, so it did speed up my class quests for Scholar, but it left all of my old all of the Summoner ones alone. So I was actually able to go through the Summoner quest line on my own.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that was kind of neat. But one of the things that the other things that the class jump potion does is it gives you a full set of gear at level 60, and it's a good set. It's gear as if you had been raiding up until all through Heaven's Ward. So you get a full set of 260 gear, which is will last you probably until, I want to say 64. But you're essentially good to go into dungeons at that point, and you'll have no problem.
Cool. Very cool.
And for those on the video stream here, tons of little circling through some screenshots on here. The game is very pretty, regardless on how crummy your machine it actually is. This game will look beautiful regardless. If your computer can run it in any means, shape, or form, the game is beautiful.
Yep.
If you have a high-end computer, this will look excellent. If you have even just a standard PlayStation 4, the game is great. PlayStation 4 Pro, you're looking at pretty much high-end PC specs at that point. So
very cool.
Right, really beautiful stuff going on. Oh, 2 new classes we didn't talk about.
Oh yeah, totally forgot.
Yes,
Well, we kind of mentioned them.
We mentioned them. So we have Samurai and Red Mage.
Yes.
Both DPS. They both
very surprising.
Put out the deeps, which means if you're a tank or a healer, you're still in demand.
Yep.
But no, so you're Samurai. You get a Samurai sword, and you slice and dice things up all over creation. If you are a Red Mage, you have a rapier and a little floaty thing, and you run up, you slice and dice for a little bit, you jump back, casty, zoom back in, slicey dicey, zoom back out, boom, 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 boom. It's very cool.
Nice.
Yep, and I am currently in Kugane, which is just a gorgeous town. That you saw some of the pictures in that he was showing off, but this town has so much detail to it, and the weather effects that they've customized them for this place, and it is just gorgeous to run around and see what they've done. I mean, you can see why it's taken them as long as they have, because and this is just a town for everyone to hang out in.
Right. But, you just look at the detail on it; it's crazy. Yeah,
and it's it's just so much detail, and it's been pretty amazing to go through. It was quite the change coming from Alamigo, and then when they sent you over here, and you're like, oh, hello. It's like night and day as far as how things were going. But yeah, if you've got a decent machine or a PS4 or PS4 Pro, you're definitely going to enjoy the views. It's pretty amazing.
Even a meh PC will do it.
Yeah. Here, let me get rid of all the nonsense so you can really see what's going on. But yeah, it's if you're into playing gorgeous games, this is the one for you.
Gorgeous games with good story.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing too. That's one of the reasons why I'm not spending as much time in WoW with the new stuff in WoW. The story so far has been kind of disappointing.
What story? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's like they like you don't even know what are they doing over there. There's some people doing some interesting parkour to explore. Oh wow, what are they doing? Okay.
They made it up the tower.
Wow.
There is a way from the inside you can get up on. You talk to a
that's
person
not nearly
and
as fun.
zooms you right back up.
That is pretty industrious. They have been busy up there. But again, this is what's
lovely to do.
Well, this is why being on a populated server is kind of entertaining, just to see the crazy things that all these people are into, because this place is packed. But yeah, I mean, it's the only bit of story I heard is locked behind the last boss in the new raid. It's like, really? I mean, you have
you're talking about WoW again.
Yeah. But here, it's just constant, just huge amounts of story. I mean, even the side quest, you're just amazed with just all the stuff they're doing.
Not to mention, every time you do a main scenario quest and say, all right, I think I'm done with this area. Let me turn in this lag quest here. And then poof, your screen is filled with the little exclamation points on every freaking NPC for eternity. It's like, oh, I got another 80 quests that I could do. Eventually, I just said, oh, that's going to have to wait till my next character or my next when I'm leveling my next class.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like I just finished liberating an area, and I was like, okay, let's go to the next area. Oh, but there's these 10 quests.
We got now that we're free, we got a bunch of fetch quests for you to do.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a hero to us all. Go fetch me 6 beetle petals, beetle feet or something.
Right.
Yeah. Like, although there was one really interesting subquest, so don't always overlook the subquest, because there was one that was about the fishing village. It was very interesting that I really did enjoy, and it wasn't just a one and done. It was actually a quest line.
Oh yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. That was excellent.
Yeah, they have such interesting story on just these little side quests. Cool. So it's
and because it's an MMO in the modern day and age, you will have beautiful quest lines that have you see a full depth of characters and emotions. You will also have quests that require you to go pick up poop.
Yeah, that's normal.
It's a requirement.
Exactly. Yep. All right. Well, anything else about the expansion or the game or the guild that we need to cover?
Oh, we can probably spend ages.
Want to get you in the game. We want to have you play.
Let's get everybody else off of Gilgamesh, so you guys can have it to yourselves, and not have to worry about the. We're still locked.
I mean, at some point, we're gonna make it so you two can play. Because I think you two would love it.
Okay, definitely. Everything I see about it's beautiful and fabulous, and the housing
we just
and all
need
of that.
More time in the day, the usual.
Yeah, all of us.
We need to move to the 36-hour day.
Right, exactly.
Or the D&D nap spell, where you can have an hour of sleep in 8 hours.
Yeah,
that's normal for you anyway.
Still
there you go. Oh, you can't see that because I'm doing a slideshow. There we go. There. That's your solution right there.
No, God, no.
There's your solution.
I'm vibrating enough as it is.
Yeah, no, her system would probably explode. So.
Disclaimer: this is not health food.
No,
exactly. It's not food.
It's a can of
you.
Alrighty, so that's our show for tonight. So while the chat room begins suggesting show titles, we will thank Avo for joining us. Yay! Thank you, Avo.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Avo.
No problem.
And is there anything
Avo,
you want to plug?
Where can people find you?
Discord at Abovan, Twitter at Abovan. I do have a Facebook presence. I think it's Abovan. It's Facebook/Abovan AIE, I think. Possibly. Gilgamesh. If you can get on. If you can get on. Any one of those ways. If you want to reach me some other way, great. What headphones do I have on at Abovan? Well, I am wearing Sony PlayStation 4 headphones. Now, these are the gold platinum
wireless, right?
These are licensed for the game that I don't have, just because they're the only ones in stock at the time. Indiana Jones, but not Indiana Jones. What Uncharted.
Uncharted, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
no.
Uncharted ones, but
They're very good headphones.
they work with, it's a little USB Jimmy that you plug into your computer, and that's how it works.
Dongle.
That's how it works in the PlayStation. You plug the USB dongle into it, but it has firmware that works with the PlayStation 4 to separate out voice chat and game sounds up and down individually. So it has like multiple volume controls on the side. I use this headset for gaming, work, and for PC gaming, PlayStation 4 gaming, and I use it for work because the microphone in this thing is actually very. It's not a podcasting mic, but as far as just like basic voice chatting, it's awesome.
Yep, definitely one of the better ones out there.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, if you have a question or comment about our show, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can also follow us on Twitter. The show is at AIE Podcast. Mew is at the Mew Cow. McCullough is at Cyberwave. Ivory Tiger. We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Again, except next week. Next week we will probably be recording. I think Saturday afternoon is when Dave slotted us into. But just watch the Twitter feed and the AIE Guild page, and we will let you know when we're going to stream. You can join the chat room and play along with us on our website, aie-guild.org. And the podcast is at podcast-live-stream. And our Discord server is at bit.ly/AIE Podcast Discord. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, keyswithsoul.com.
Awesome. And now it's time to play all the great AIE member segments we received this week, including Overly Dramatic News by Hunts the Wind.
Yep, I've been a bit busy.
I wonder why.
I can't imagine why. And if all goes well, we will be recording live from Newtacular on Saturday. As he said, more details to come. We should be getting our own little room to do the recording so that we can actually have an audience. I might actually recommend that maybe we have the AIE picture done at that time as well, since it would be a central spot for everyone to gather and take pictures.
Okay.
Well, I know we mentioned doing one Thursday night as well. That was the officer one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can always do multiple too.
Yeah, but it'll be a place where everyone can gather in one spot, and maybe it's something worth looking into. So until then, AIE. This is Bucow.
This is Tetsemi.
This is McCullough.
And this has been the AIE Podcast.
Bye.
Hey.
Don't forget show title.
Show title. So what do we got?
Well, you've got Kyber says either Aether or Final Fantasy. I think she meant FFXIV can't bribe us to leave.
Yeah.
We're talking about Final Fantasy 4.
That's great.
The death and birth of Cecil.
Yep.
The death and
Come on, guys. Someone give me something about there not being an anarchist class. Come on.
I always thought it was an anarchist just because they're summoners. They're summoning like chaos. So, I mean, if you've seen
and chaos is informed in a tiny, cute little carbuncle.
Right.
Yes.
That glows.
Hey, I'm right here. Oh, never mind. Not me.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that is it for show titles. I don't see any more coming from the room, and Sybil had to bail. So, do you want to start with one of those, or come up with your own, Abbo?
Yeah, either Ether or Final Fantasy 14 can't bribe us to leave.
You want to use the whole thing?
I like it.
I think both. Either Ether or... Yeah,
Well,
I say there it is. Either Ether.
Okay. We'll go with either Ether.
Let me give it like a subtitle.
yeah. Either. You cannot bribe us to leave.
Yeah, there you go.
You can't bribe us to leave either. How about, and you can't bribe us to leave either. Something along those lines.
There we go. Either Aether. You can't bribe us to leave either Aether.
Yeah.
Roger.
Roger. Thank you.
Exactly.
Oh, as much as they annoy me, they actually are pretty funny on the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
They have to be at that point. I mean, there's no way anyone takes it seriously at this point.
Yeah.
We're still alive.
Room. I'm gonna cut the stream real quick because we gotta get going.
Bye, Strat.
Bye.